Hey there, in this video I want to talk about parameters, audio and effect-based components. But before we continue, I want to remind again that as you may already know, by holding MTVT, you get the opportunity to enjoy additional reward boosts, which will help you earn more in-game tokens. Alright, let's begin. I have played the game until I have reached to the other NPC character and her name is Anahita. Anahita should help me to create rain in the dry land that the swan lives. But before doing that, I should do her mission to find her bird. And her bird is hidden in one of these land parts in here, and I should click on each of these land parts to find the bird. But it's not as easy as I'm saying, because most of these land parts are infected by the talisman of the old magician. And if I click on them by wrong, my health start to decrease. And you can see my health bar as a number of 100% at the top of the screen. Also, there are some of these land parts that if I clicked on them, they will show me some close to the direction of the bird, and those lands will help me to find the bird more easier. And also some of the lands are, when I clicked on them, there are some healths on them, and if I clicked on them, my health start to increase. So let's talk to the Anahita to start her mission. And after talking to her, as you can see, the mission started and Anahita gave me 5 minutes to find her bird. And if I can't find the bird in 5 minutes, I lose the game and my game start to reset. And also, if I clicked on the lands by wrong and my health start to decrease until it reaches to 0, again I will lose the game and my game start to reset. So let's go on to find a bird. For example, I want to start my work by clicking on this land. Oh, it's wrong. And as you could see, if I clicked on the wrong land, you saw a special effect, for example, a broken heart with a special sound. And let me click on the other land. For example, let's click on that. Again, it's wrong. Let's click on this one. Again, wrong. Let's click on this one. It's a direction. Alright, it's a direction. As you could see, when I clicked on the direction, another effect with another sound is played. Alright, and this direction say me that the bird may be in this side. But I should find more direction in the land to find the exact place of the bird. So let's click on this one. Oh, it was a health. And as you could see, when I clicked on the health again, another sound with another effect is played, and also my health bar increased from 70% to 80%. So let's click on them, let's click on this one. Again, it was direction and my health start to decrease. And actually I don't know where to find a bird, and this is another direction, and this is another direction. And actually the place of the bird is random and I even don't know where the bird is. Alright, that was the thing I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the effects and also the sound with them, and also this time counter and also this health bar, because I have created all of them with the parameters, audio and effect based components that I want to show you in few minutes. Alright, I want to back to the M builder and I want to create a very simple game with the previous avatar Victoria that we created in the previous video. So let's go to the builder to start our own game with these parameters, audio and effect based components. So let's go on. Okay, here we have the Victoria again to start a game with her. And I want to create the game step by step. For the first step, I want to use the simplest form for the game, and the more I go on to the steps, I will make it more complicated. For the first step, I want, when I speak with the Victoria, she asked me to find 3 butterflies in the scene. So I need 3 butterflies in the scene, so I will go to the models pack, and from the me child package I will add 3 butterflies, one in here. Let's put in somewhere in here, for example. Let's change the position and also the scale a little bit. And also let's click on the Control D to have some duplicate from the butterflies and put in the places that we want. I think the places are okay. Now I want, before speaking and accepting the victorious mission, my butterflies to be deactivated in the scene so that I cannot see them anymore. And after I speak with the Victoria and accepting her quest, I want my butterflies start to be activated so that I can see them in the scene. And also all my butterflies are clickable. If I clicked on them, again they start to deactivate to show me that I have found and select them. And also I want a text in here that shows me the total number of butterflies and also the number of butterflies I have found till now. For example, if I haven't selected found and selected any butterfly, that number is 0 from 3. If I found one butterfly, it's 1 from 3. And if I found all the 3 butterflies, I want a special event to be sent to the land so that I can use that event to finish the quest. So let's start working. The first thing, I need activation and also the click input for all the 3 butterflies. So I will select one of them and let's go to the object, let's add activation, and also let's go to the input and let's add click input. I should tell you that if you want to rename your components, you can do that by clicking in here and using the pencil button and use the name you want. For example, I name it start, find, activate. And I always use the name of the component at the end of my name to know the type of that component, and I always recommend you to do that. Alright, for the start, I want all the butterflies to be deactivated by default, so I should make them deactivate. But because at the moment I should define some parameters for them, I don't deactivate at the moment, and I will make them deactivate at the final stage of creating this part of the game. So in the event to enable, when I talk to the Victoria and accepting her mission, I want my butterflies to be activated in the scene. So in the event to enable receiver, I should define the event that is sent after accepting her mission. And I want this event to be, for example, Victoria quest. All right. And also I want, when I clicked on this butterfly to select that in the scene, it starts to deactivate again. So in the event to disable, I should define another receiver that this click input is sent to the land. So on click event, I type it, for example, found 01. And when I clicked on this butterfly, found 01 is sent to the land, and this type should accept the found 01 to make that butterfly deactivate again to show me that I have selected and found that butterfly, and I should go and find the other ones. All right, now I want these two components for the other 2 butterflies. So I can copy them. For example, let's copy this one and let's select this butterfly and use this paste button in here to paste that. And also let's use the click input, copy that and paste the click input in here. And also repeat this action for the other butterfly. Let's paste the click input and also let's select the activation and copy that and paste that in here. But I should change the amount of the click input on all the 3 butterflies. They should not be the same, and I will say why. So let's make it 3, for example, and in the activation, let's change it to 3 again. And let's select the other butterfly in here. In the click input, let's change it to 2, for example, and in the activation, let's change it to 2 again. They shouldn't be the same, because if they be the same, if I select one butterfly, an event that is the same with all the 3 butterflies is sent to the land, and all the 3 butterflies accept that event and make deactivate, and that means by selecting one butterflies, all the other butterflies will be selected. So that's why I define different events for all the 3 butterflies. So now everything is okay in here, and I should make these butterflies deactivate in the scene because I don't have anything else with them. So let's go to the activation in here and let's deactivate this butterfly, and also let's select this one and let's go to the activation and make it deactivated by default, and also this one and make it deactivate again. And that thing is, I want another text to appear here at the top of the screen to show me the total number of butterflies that I should find in the screen and how much butterflies I have found till now. And for doing this, I can select any of these objects. For example, I will select the Victoria, and I will go to the add component, and from the parameters, I will add value counter. I said you can select each of these objects in the land and add value counter to that, because value counter is not related to any object. For example, look at is related to the object that you are adding to. For example, if I add look at, for example, to this grass start to look at the main player wherever it goes. But the value counter is not related to any other object, and its mission is to show a number in here, or also you can define that doesn't show in here. And the thing value counter is doing is whenever you need a value that defines some events so that decrease or increase that value to reaches to the special value, and after reaching to that special value and a special event is sent to the land to use that event for the other works, you can use the value counters. In this example, I have 3 butterflies, so I need a value counter to define a number of 0, for example, and each time I select a butterfly, a special number is added. For example, 1 is added to the 0 until it reaches to 3. And after reaching to the 3, I want a special event to be sent to the land so that I get that event and use that to finish the quest. And that's how I'm using value counter. And no matter that you are using the value counter for such this example, or using the value counter for creating something like health. And in previous example, I have a health bar in here that was 100%. And for creating that, again, I use the value counter. And if I open the parameters of the value counters, you can see the parameters of that. Again, we have the enable, event to enable, and event to disable. That is the same for the other components. I have an initial value and target value. Initial value is the base value that I have, and I should increase or decrease from that to reach to the target value. And after reaching to this value, I can send an event to the lands. All right. In this example, my initial value for the butterflies is 0 because I haven't selected any butterfly. And the target value is 3 because it's the total number of butterflies. But in previous example, which shows my health bar, the initial value was 100% and target value was 0 because each time I clicked on the land rank, I wanted a special value for on previous example 10 to be decreased from my health amount until it reaches to the 0, and after reaching to the 0, an event is sent to the land to reset my game, and the game is over. But in this example, the initial value is 0, target value is 3, and each time I find a butterfly, I want 1 added to this number so that it reaches to 3. Now, let's go down. This is the show value on a screen toggle. I want to see the amount of the value in here, so I will make it active. And also the text format. I think this text format is okay for me in this example, and in previous example I used the percentage text format for my health, and I leave it as it is. And also in here I have some events to add and events to subtract. The events that add to this amount and events that subtract from this amount. And in this example, I want some events to add to this amount to reach this one. So in here, I need 3 events. One for the first butterfly, the other one to the second, and the other one to the third. So I define 3 events in here. Let's define 3 events. All right. Now, what should I define in here? This receiver accept the events that I clicked on the butterflies. On each butterfly I click, and a special event is sent to the land. For example, in this one, found 01, found 02, and found 03. So these are the events that I should define in these fields. So let's define found 01, or you can use found 03, found 01. It doesn't matter to be exactly found 1, 2, 3. You can just the events are important. All right. And the other thing we have, we have three fields in here: on values, matched, send events. That's what I want, because it says that if the initial value be equals to the target value and a special event is sent to the land, and I exactly want this one. For example, I want this to send a quest done event so that I can use this event to finish the quest. And also you can define some events each time a number is added to this value, to this initial value, or a number is added, is subtracted for the initial value. You can define in here, but I don't want at the moment, so I leave it as it is. And okay, my value counter is okay at the moment. And also in here it's enabled by default. That means when I enter my land, I can see the value of 0 from 3 in the screen, but I don't want that. I want it to be enabled after accepting the victorious mission, so I will make it disabled. And in event to enable, I type Victoria mission, so Victoria quest, excuse me, so that after accepting the victorious quest, it start to show in here. And the other thing I want, I should change the dialog system of the Victoria, because this dialog system is for the previous video. I will delete this one, and let's create my other dialog system. So let's go to the NPC and let's go to the NPC dialog system. And in here, I will make it default by enable. The name was Victoria. All right. And in here, when I clicked on the Victoria, I had the dialog 1. So I will copy that. And in the add new conversation, for the event to start, I call dialog 1. Also, I can have some description, a tip in here. For example, talk to Victoria. Or talk. Or nothing. All right. Let's leave it as this. And let's open the graph. And in here, hello. My name is Victoria. Can you find 3 butterflies for me? And after that, I have 2 choices. One choice is yes. And after selecting the yes, the mission is started. And the other one is no. That if I select the no, nothing will happen. All right. If I select no, nothing will happen, so I leave it as it is. And if I click on the yes, the mission will start. And the event that starts the mission, I have defined the Victoria quest. So it should send the Victoria quest so that the other one accept that. All right, now I have it in here. Also, I don't want this idle animation for the Victoria, so let's back to the NPC rig animation of that and use the idle 01 for the Victoria. And I think it's more beautiful compared to the other ones. And also, I don't want these animation events, but it doesn't matter because let's delete them. I don't want these animation events at the moment, but I want talk animations. So Victoria talk. I want Victoria talk, and I want this Victoria talk to for the NPC dialog system. Let's back in the graph and use the Victoria talk for this, so that if I clicked on the Victoria, the talk animation is played, and this is the Victoria talk. All right, it's okay now. And after finishing the event, as I said, I have sent a quest done in here. After the quest is done, I want another dialog system to be appeared in here that the Victoria appreciate us. So I need to add and define another NPC dialog system in here. And it is disabled by default, and the event to enable is quest done. And the NPC name is Victoria again. And let's add new conversation. And also the Victoria quest done can be used in here. Let's open the graph. Thank you so much. The quest is done. All right, that's fine. I don't want anything else. And also, if I accept the Victoria's mission, I cannot speak with this, Victoria again until I finish the quest. So in the NPC dialog system, as you can see in the graph, when I accept the Victoria mission, the Victoria quest is sent, and I want to use the Victoria quest again to make this dialog system disable. So yes, let's use the Victoria quest, make it disable. And also, I think it's okay. All right, let's check that. Let's save the work and see the result in the scene. Let's go to the painting. And now let's talk to the Victoria. Hello. Oh, hello. Sorry. That's wrong. My name is Victoria. Can you find 3 butterflies for me? If I click on the no, nothing happens. If I click on the yes again, as you can see, the butterflies start to activate in the scene, and I cannot talk to the Victoria again because I have make it disable. And let's go and select the butterflies. They are clickable, and as you can see, I have a number at the top part, 0 from 3. If I clicked on this butterfly, let's click on that, it start to deactivate again, and the number is 1 from 3. If I go and select this one, it's 2 from 3. And if I select this one again, as you can see, mission is finished. Thank you so much, the quest is done. And that's how value counter is working. And now I want to go further, and this time I want to create a time counter. For example, after accepting the Victoria's mission, I have a time counter so that I should find the butterflies in 1 minute. So let's go to create a time counter for our quest. Now for the next step of the game, I want to add a timer so that if the user accepts the Victoria's mission, the user has a special time to find the butterflies. And for doing this, I need a timer component. I can select any of my objects in the scene and add it a timer, because timer, like the value counter, is not related to the object I am adding to. But I always recommend you that you select and add the timer to the object that is most relevant to your work. And because if you need to change that, you can find that object easily and change that. But in here, because the Victoria is the most relevant object in the scene, I will select again the Victoria, and let's go to the add components, and in the parameters I will add her a timer. So in here, what is the timer and when we should use that? Whenever you need time in your work, for example, you want to give your users a special time to do something, you need timer. You want to define a time for your events to be so that after that time, that event to be sent to the land, you need timer. So whenever you need time in your work, you need timer. And in here, because I want to give my users special time to find the butterflies, I need timer. So let's open the timer to see the parameters of the timer. And as you can see, these 3 parameters are the same like the other ones, so I don't want to talk about them. And autoplay, when you want to enter your land, as soon as you get inside your land, your timer to start your work, you should enable the autoplay. But because I don't want it to be happened, I make it disable. And event to play is the event that after receiving that event, the timer starts to work. And in this example, because I want as soon as I accept the Victoria's mission, the timer start to work, and I know after accepting the mission, I have the Victoria quest event, so I should define the Victoria quest in here. That's it. And that's it. All right, now the loop. When you enable the loop, your timer never ends. That means, for example, if you have 10 seconds, your timer start to decrease, 10, 9, 8, until it reaches to 0. And after reaching to 0, it start to count again from the 10. And I don't want my timer to be looping here because I want ending for my timer, because I want if my user can't find the butterflies in a special time, I have another event, so I don't make it loop. And if you want some delay before your timer starts, you can define some delay in here, but I want to make it 0 because I don't want any delay again. And if you want your timer to be shown at the top screen, you can make it enabled. And because I want my user to know their time, I leave it enabled again. And this is the amount of time that you want to use. For example, I want my user to have 30 seconds, so I leave it on 30 seconds. And in some cases, you can define some events to add to your time or decrease from your time. For example, in many games, you have seen that there are some icons, for example, the icons like the clock, that if you clicked on that icon, your time increases. Or there are some things that if you hit or clicked on that thing, your time decreases. Also, you can do that in here. For example, you can define some events in here, and after receiving that event, you can define the special amount of time that after receiving that event, this amount will be increased and added to your time. And also there may be some events that if that event happens, your time will be decreased to this value. And also I have two other fields in here. One field is when the timer starts working, it starts to send an event. I don't want any event to be sent when my timer starts working, but instead I want when my timer stops working. For example, if the time is finished, the 30 seconds is finished, I want an event to be sent to the land so that the Victoria dialog box appears and said you lost. So I defined an event called you lost in here. And also I want another NPC dialog box for the Victorios. So let's add another NPC dialog box for the you lost. And let's add an NPC dialog box in here. And because I have 3 dialog boxes in here, I will change its name. For example, you lost dialog. All right. Now, if I open the you lost dialog for the NPC name again, Victoria, and I don't want it to be enabled by default, and after receiving the you lost, it should be enabled. That's right. And let's add a new conversation in here. And for the event to start, again, I should define you lost. And let's open the graph, and you lost the game. Also, if I found the butterflies before the timer ends, I want the timer to be disabled and to be removed from the screen. So I should define the timer in the event to disable. When the value counter reaches to the special amount, the quest done is sent to the land. So I should add the quest done to the event to disable in here, so that if I found the butterflies before the time ends, the timer stops working and the player doesn't lose the game. And I think everything is okay now, and I can save and check my work. I'm back in the builder because when I tested the game, I saw that when I find the butterflies before my time ends, the timer doesn't stop, and it was wrong. And when I back change in here, and when I check the timer event to disable, I saw that by rank, AnaQuest is assigned in here. AnaQuest is for one of my missions in my main game. And in here I should define the quest done, which is related to the game of Victoria. So I should define quest done in here, quest done, and that will work fine. So let's save to test that again. Now I'm in the game and I want to test that. So let's speak with Victoria and accepting permission. Now as you can see, I have a time counter in here and I want to test both of that. The first one, I want to find the butterflies before the time ends, and after that I will check that again, and don't find the butterflies and let the time ends to check what will happen. So now before the time ends, if I find the butterflies in here, as you can see, the time will start to disable. Victoria appreciates us and the quest is done. Alright, now let's go outside and test it once more. Alright, let's test the other situation. For example, if I don't select all the butterflies before the time ends, and let's see what will happen. For example, I will select 2 of these butterflies, but I won't select the third one, and I want to wait in here to see what will happen. Actually, I defined if I couldn't find the butterflies, a dialog box for the Victoria appears that tells me you lost the game, and I want to see if it happens or not. Alright, that happens and everything works fine. Now I have the dialog box in here, but when I clicked on the next, actually nothing happens, and again I can continue my game, and I have again the text and, at the top of the screen, 2 of 3. I can select the butterfly in here, and if I select the butterfly, the quest is done, and Victoria says thank you so much, the quest is done. But actually I have lost the game before selecting a third butterfly, and I should reset my game. But before that happened, because I didn't add any reset component after the Victoria's dialog box that which told us that you lost the game. And that's because I don't want to say reset at the moment, but maybe I have a talk about the reset and add reset at the end of the video. But at the moment I want to go further, and I want to add sounds and also the effects when I clicked on the butterflies and when I select them, and I want to do how to do that and how to add sounds, how to add effects. So let's go on, let's go to the builder to check that. Okay, in this step of the game, I want to show you how to use the audio and effect-based components to achieve a better result. For example, if you clicked on your butterflies and a special sound or effect displayed in the scene. But before adding these components to butterflies, because there's a trick with them at the moment, I want to test it on a more simple object. For example, I want to select this bush, and whenever I clicked on this bush, I want a special sound displayed and also a special effect displayed too. So I will make this bush first of all clickable again. So let's add a click input to that, and after clicking on that, an event called test is sent to the land. Now I want when I clicked on this bush, a special sound is heard. So let's click on add components in there, and let's go to the audio and select the sound. Whenever you want to add sound after a special event, you can use the sound. So I will select the sound, and if I open the sound, as you can see, we have a category in here that shows which type of sound do you want, and also the items of category is listed in here. For example, the alarm 1 can be previewed, something like that. Or if you use other categories, for example, I will use the clap or other things like that. For example, let's go and see what we have in there. We have a lot of kind of sounds that you can find between them. And so, for example, let me select one thing. For example, let's select the explosion. All right. Whenever I clicked on this bush, I want this explosion to be heard. So I selected this explosion. Item selection 1 is okay. I can control the amount of the volume. I can use the lower amounts, but I will leave it as it is, so you can control that. And also, event to play is the event that when received by the sound, start to play the explosion 1. And as you can see, when I click, the test is sent to the land, and I want it received to test and start to play the explosion 1 sound. All right, I don't want it to be looped. I want it just one time be played. So I will leave it as it is. And again, event to enable and event to disable is like the other one. And I should describe a little about toggle. Sometimes in some components you see event to toggle. What does that mean? What is toggle? As you can see, this enable button in here is toggle. That means when it is enabled, if I click on that one time, it will start to make it disable. Again, when it's disable, if I clicked on that, it starts to make it enable. And if I clicked on that again, it starts to make it disable, enable, disable, enable, and that's toggle means. So when you use event to toggle, when it received a special events and your sound be enabled, it change it to disable. If your sound be disabled and it received a toggle, it makes your sound enable. And that's how the toggle works. All right. Now I think it's enough and everything is okay now. And now a special sound can be heard if I clicked on that. And also I want a special effect to be played. So for having a special graphical effect, for having a special VFX, we use the add components, and from the effects I will add a VFX. VFX consists of several particle systems. As you can see, for example, this is the water. As you can see, if I open the VFX, I can see the effect of the particle type that is playing. And also I can use different particle types in here. For example, this is the fire, this is a candle fire. I can use other form of the fires, I can use other types, and as you can see. And also we have a lot of particles in here. For example, I want these star particles. If I clicked on the bush, I want this effect of particle to be played. So again, event to enable, disable, and toggle are as the same I talked about. And event to play again is a receiver that it receives a special event and start to play this particle. So in here I want the test to be received. So I type test, and after that it start to play this VFX. And also autoplay is for when you want this event to be played automatically in your land as when you enter your land. But if you leave it enabled or make it disabled, there is no matter, because you have defined event to play for that. That means you have defined start to play this effect right after getting the test. So if you don't define anything and use the autoplay and make it enabled by default, it will start to play by default in the scene. And if it's loop, it will play it and play it. As you can see now, it is playing loop at the moment for the preview. But if you don't enable the loop, it will play one time. And I want my star to be played one time when I clicked on this bush. So I don't enable the loop. Also, you will have controls over the position. Let me show you the position and also rotation and scale of your particle in here. For example, you can change the position of your particle, and I think it's okay. Also, you can change the rotation if your particle accepts the rotation. And also you can change the scales. For example, I decrease the scale to something like 0.8. And as you can see now, it is start to scale, and now it's more smaller compared to previous one. And the duration, lifetime, particle size, these are the things that you can control for the particles. For example, you can increase or decrease the particle size. And also, as you can see, the star, do you see? Okay, let me decrease that. I think it's okay. You can increase or decrease their lifetime if you look at that. and also the duration. And you can play these amounts to achieve a good result. Or I suggest you not to work with this parameter if you don't need them, and the only things that is important to set is position, rotation, and also its scale. So let me test the result to see what we have in here. So let's save the work and back to the land. Alright, here I'm in the land and I have removed the background music in here. Now I want to check the result in there. If I clicked on this bush, as you can see, the special effect is played and also sound is here. And now I want to create something with my butterflies, so that if I clicked on the butterflies, a special sound and effect is played. So let's back to the builder to check it again and for the last try of this video. Now for the final step of the work, I want to add audio and effect to the butterfly when we clicked on that, and also I want to add a background music when we accept the victorious mission. So let's do that. In here, I will select one of my butterflies, so I will go to the hierarchy in there and search for the butterfly. Search for the butterfly. And let's select this origami butterfly in here. Let's click on the F to zoom on that, and let's go to the properties and make it active for a while because I want to work on that. And also let's add a component. For example, let's add a sound component in here, and the sound component and the category I want to add collect, and I want a 14 item selection. I think this is a good choice for my work. And for the event to play, I use the same event when I clicked on this butterfly, found 03. So let's add found 03 to that. Now, if I clicked on this butterfly, this sound should be played. Also, I need an effect. So let's add effect and VFX. Let's use a different effect. So for example, let's go and select the stars. And in here, I want another kind of the star. For example, this star explosion. And I want to change the position of that and make put it down a little bit. And I think this is better. And for the event to play again, I want the same event when I clicked on that. That means found 03. And that's it. And it should work too, but there is one problem. If you saw before, my butterflies were deactive by default. When I accept the victorious mission, they start to activate. And when I clicked on these butterflies, again, they got deactive. They get deactive with the found 03. And found 03, as you can see, is the same event as I used for the sound and VFX to play. But as I said before, when you deactive something, all the other components of that object won't work. So when I clicked on this object gets deactive. That's correct. But all the sounds and VFX not work. And that's not what I want. So I shouldn't use the found 03 that is the same for the sound and VFX for making my object deactive. So I delete the found 03 in here, and instead of making my object deactive by this event, I make my object invisible by adding visibility and use the found 03 for that. Alright, now if I collide with my object, I can destroy the collision with this event too. So let's add a collision and let's destroy the collision with this event. And this is one of the way to control that, this problem. And there are other ways, but I have said one of the easiest way in here, and you can do other ways too. And there is one more thing. If I want to have the sound and also the VFX for the other butterflies so that they work fine with this way, I should add all these components one by one to the other butterflies. But this sound is not related to object, but VFX is related. It's very important that which object is getting VFX. So if you want VFX for the butterflies, you should add it to all the butterflies. But for the sound, you can do a more optimized way. Instead of adding sound to one by one to all the butterflies, I can copy the sound and also delete the sound from here, because I don't want sound. I don't want to add sound to all the butterflies and use 3 sounds. And instead of that, I will back to the Victoria, because I have all my main components in here, and I will paste the sound in here. As you can see, I have the sound now. And for the event to play, I use another event. Let's go to the value counter. And if you look at that, in the value counter, in the onValue added send event, I can define an event in here that each time that this value is added, that means I have found and select one butterfly. Each time and a special event is sent to the land, and that event is used to play a sound. So I type collect sound in here, and I use the collect sound for this sound component. So let's use that for this. And now each time I select and click on a butterfly, the collect sound is sent to the land, and collect sound is received and played this sound. All right. But between all the butterflies, just these butterflies will play the events. Let me select that. This event will play the VFX, because I haven't defined VFX for the other butterflies. And now I want to check that. Also, I don't need autoplay anymore, so let me disable that. All right, everything works fine. Now let's make my butterfly deactive again, because it should be deactive by default. And let's save my work. And oh, sorry. I also want one more thing. I also want to define an background music when I accept the Victoria's mission. So I will select the Victoria again. Let's go to the add components, and from the audio, let's add music. And in here, in the music, I want to select my own music from the music type. For example, I want a kids, and also I want to check that. No, I will change it. All right, I love this one. And let's change the volume and increase that to something like 50. And for the event to play, I want the same event as I accept the mission from Victoria, which is the Victoria quest. Victoria quest. All right, that's fine. And I want it to be played loop. Everything is awesome. Now I can save and test the work. Alright, as you can see now, at the moment I don't have any background music in here, so let's talk with the Victoria and let's accept permission. Now I have the background music, I have the butterflies in here. If I clicked on each butterfly, you can see a sound is played, but because I didn't add any VFX to these 2 butterflies, I don't have any effect on them when I click. But this one, if I clicked on that, you can see the effects. All right. I think it's enough for this lesson, and I hope it was useful for you guys. Have a good time. Good luck.